Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the IMS Permaconn Video IQ webinar this morning. We'll just give it a minute or so for people to join, and we'll kick off the webinar and tell you all about the exciting Video IQ offer between our two great businesses. All right, welcome to everyone who is arriving. I'll start sharing my screen at the moment, and we'll just go through a little bit of Q&A to start with. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. For those who don't know me, my name's Tom Sullivan. I'm the Managing Director for Australia and New Zealand for Permaconn. And hopefully I have either met a lot of you or we'll get the chance to meet a lot of you at some stage over the near future. Joined this morning by Paul Jones, who runs IMS, and I think everyone knows who Paul is. He started as the janitor and is now the boss. So he's done everything in between, I believe. I think that story's right, isn't it, Paul?
Oh, it's fairly close, mate. I'm old. I've been in this trade since 1986. I'm not smart enough to get out, but I secretly love it. I just try not to tell anyone.
There you go. Very good. We've also got Michael from the IMG marketing department that's put today together. So thank you to Michael for all of his efforts. And for those of you who know Permaconn, I'm sure you know Andrew Lee and have dealt with him over the years. Andrew will be running us through Atlas and how we kind of set up Video IQ. But thanks everyone for joining. I just thought we'd kick off with just a couple of questions between Paul and myself. Hey Paul, the rise of kind of video monitoring has been exponential over the last kind of period of time, and your business has really been leading the charge in it. Where are you seeing the applications, and where are you seeing kind of the increase in monitored video?
I think that the application is a no-brainer. I mean, realistically, we've been working blind in the dark for 30 odd years with Signal. And as we all know, Signal alarm is a switch, it's off or it's on. It doesn't tell us anything or allow us anything. So with the advent of video, it just gives us a lot more information that we can make a decision on. I think that it's our greatest growing product coming online, video as a whole. So certainly people are starting to understand what the opportunity is.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, from our perspective and just from Permaconn's perspective, we're seeing the number of connected cameras through Video IQ double every month. And we're also seeing the number of incidents per camera decrease every month as AI kind of gets smarter and we work out better rules and better ways of automating it. But effectively, the whole Video IQ program is built around turning, unmonitored cameras into monitored cameras. Paul, do you just want to touch on the incident response that you guys have been really successful in getting out of using cameras when it comes to, police and incident response?
Sure. I guess over time we've sort of lost confidence with the police because we send so many things to them, because it's very hard to determine what we're looking at. The first thing that we see in that is that we have less calls for this sort of product. We can identify whether it's someone or it's not someone, or what we can do, whether it's after hours, whether it's police. But the response we're getting from the police is incredible. I'll give you an example. We deal with about 30,000 events per week, and we make receive about 150,000 phone calls. In that now, we're starting to be able to qualify everything that we're sending through, and once the police get it, they're actually happy to go to the jobs. And in some cases, we can guide them through with that video what the people are doing, where they are, how many there are, because before they're just walking in blind. So the other big thing that we're seeing is the police calling us back. On a signal alarm, we don't know where they went, when they arrived, if they'd done anything, if they caught anyone. We don't really hear too much from the police in that place. But what we're seeing now with video is just every call that we send them and they catch somebody, they're calling us back and they're interacting with us. They're looking for that video. That's their evidence as well. So not only, in the past with Signal, we have no data other than the events. Now we actually have data that they can use when they're going through court and those type of things, because we now have the video. So it gives us a lot better opportunity to not only catch the people but to convict them as well.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing high action rates from the police, across the board on this stuff, and then we're also seeing significant reduction in kind of false alarms, and not only the activity around false alarms, but the cost involved in false alarms for deploying a guard when it's not necessary too, right?
Yeah. Look, I sell that there's no such thing as a false alarm, guys. They don't exist. It's environmental, it's a fault, it's telling you something. With our operators being remote, it's very, very difficult for them to make a judgment call on what that actually is. This clarifies it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the detail. We're going to run you through today, a little bit about what the solution looks like. Andrew Lee's going to run you through how simple and easy it is to set up, through the Permaconn network and Atlas. And we've also got a really good commercial offer that Paul will come back and run you through as well. There's a Q&A tab in your Teams browser, so please feel free to pop questions in as we go along, and we'll address those questions towards the end of the webinar. And also, one of the most commonly asked questions is, do we have any marketing material, or can I get a copy of this slide pack? There is a bunch of marketing material that is absolutely available to you. We'll run you through that through this pack as well, and you can have a bunch of information and material that you can then send out to your customers on this. All right. So who's Permaconn? Hopefully you know us. Hopefully you love us. But our whole goal is to make critical connectivity easy, and we've been doing it for 25 years. We're the market leader when it comes to critical connectivity in the security sector. And thank you all for your business over the years. For those of you who know and love us through the security sector, we've obviously got the Permaconn PM range 24, 45, and 54. Video IQ falls into the security bracket, as does Pocket Secure, and those two are pretty linked and connected. We've got a range of other services that you may or may not be aware of, but the only other one that I'll touch on is obviously RapidLink, for those of you who are using that for IoT connectivity, especially for access control and remote cameras. But that's the full Permaconn suite, and I'm sure you know as much as you need to know about the hardware. But let's get into the Video IQ side of things. So I'll just play this video for you, which is a publicly available video that runs through what it looks like.
Across Australia and New Zealand, there are millions of unmonitored cameras. Video IQ by Permaconn allows you to quickly transform any camera into a smart monitored solution. With innovative features like video verification and virtual patrol, you can easily modernize your service experience to attract and retain higher value customers with a monthly recurring revenue. Now, let's see it in action in a high-stakes scenario. An alarm is triggered, but is it real or just another false alarm? With Video IQ, alerts are sent in real time, containing short 15-second video clips before and after the actual triggering incident. The clips are sent directly to the monitoring center, compatible with all software, and sent to the end customer via the Pocket Secure app. The intrusion detection is linked to the video system, so you can see through false alarms and AI noise to make intelligent decisions quickly. Rather than logging in and scrolling different camera angles manually, With video verification, you can identify an incident in seconds. This instant video evidence leads to faster police response. Get officers or guards on your customer's doorstep quickly, improving the chance of catching intruders. Virtual patrol is another great feature that allows you to proactively schedule video-based patrols using existing CCTV cameras, reducing unnecessary patrol costs. This is what faster, smarter monitoring looks like, helping you to significantly speed up your incident to action rate. So what drives Video IQ? It's all powered through our sophisticated cloud solution and unlocked with Permaconn's market-leading PM54 alarm communicator. Installation is incredibly simple, complete in under 10 minutes. All you need to do is activate the PM54 via Atlas, our management software. Connect to the NVR network, add cameras, assign to zones, add a data pack, and it's ready to go. Compatible with most NVRs and cameras, it's easy to integrate with your existing security system. Or better yet, run it independently so you're not relying on customer networks. That means no drilling into complex IT infrastructure, making things simpler and much more secure. We've completely eliminated the need to access customer networks as video clips are sent straight from the camera to the monitoring center via Permaconn's ISO 27001 private network, significantly reducing cyber risks. And with 99.99% uptime, it's the most confident you can be in delivering smart video services to your customers. Video IQ is video services made easy.
All right, so what does all of that mean? And I hope that gives you a good flavour of what the solution looks like. And for those of you, in the Sydney area that may or may not turn up to the Permacon office to pick up some devices, you may recognise some of the landscapes around there, and hopefully maybe even some of the people. But so Video IQ. So our goal is to turn all of the unmonitored cameras into monitored cameras and transform the way that CCTV works and operates. And so the first part of that is the instant video verification of alarm events. So Video IQ captures the footage of the alarm event and includes pre-event footage. And what that means is when Paul and his team receive an alarm event in the control room, they also receive a video clip. You would have seen in the video that we just showed you there, that was Patriot software that was running, which is the best software in the market, which Paul and the team are running. They will immediately get the video clip or clips, depending on how you set it up, and they'll be able to see what actually happened. So instead of an alarm event and just a signal, or an alarm event and trying to find someone via live camera stream and hacking into the customer's CCTV, that way they actually get the footage of what has happened, and that clip is then available to be reviewed immediately and take immediate action. The beauty of that is that clip and that link for that clip, and we'll show you how that works too. That clip can then be shared with police and can be shared with the end customer either immediately or on delay via the Pocket Secure app, and all of that is customizable. The length of clip, the quality that you're sending it through, and whether or not you link that through to Pocket Secure is all customizable. And Andrew Lee will run you through what that setup looks like in Atlas. So that covers the alarm events. The second part is virtual patrol. Now, in the lead up to Christmas, this is kind of really taking off, but virtual patrol enables you to set up scheduled virtual patrols. So just reducing guard costs. For those that are getting physical patrols, we're still seeing physical patrols, particularly at the start and the end of the evening. But what we're seeing is virtual patrol replacing a couple of physical guards throughout the period. For those that don't have guarding, especially in the Christmas period where businesses are shutting down for several weeks, what we're seeing is instead of those sites kind of going unmonitored or just monitored by signals, is that one or two virtual patrols while the business is shut down is proving very beneficial to the end customer, and that can be sent through as videos or as stills, just making sure that everything kind of in the premise is all sweet while everyone's away. The instant video alert, so the clips are up to 30 seconds and they're sent instantly to the monitoring center and up to you, to the customer. And we're all about reducing the incident to action, and Paul touched on that in terms of the engagement with the police services, and the ability for us to then deploy police. And false alarms can be dealt with quickly and accurately. I'll tell you a quick story, but we had one the other day where it was first thing in the morning, alarm had gone off. I got a call from the monitoring center. I was able to see pretty quickly on Pocket Secure what had happened, and I knew who it was walking through the front door. It was one of our software engineers who had decided to open the door before he turned the alarm off. And it was pretty easy for us, if we take that back a couple of years, what we would have done there is probably seen the alarm go off, had a call from the monitoring center, either thought, geez, I wonder what's going on, or deployed a guard at a cost that would have taken 15, 20 minutes to get there, and by that stage, the incident would have been dealt with, but we would have incurred that cost. So it really does help you to make really quick and accurate decisions very, very quickly. And the immediate video evidence is also key to it. None of this would be possible to do unless you were able to. Sorry, Paul, you want to chip in there?
I did. Sorry, mate. I just wanted to talk through that patrol part that you've got there. Traditionally, guys, that's something that we as a business don't earn anything from. They're from physical patrols, mobile patrols, whatever that may be. What we see here is you've got an opportunity to create RMR by doing those virtual patrols, setting those up for your clients, and then we can do them on your behalf. You get to charge for it, and it's a positive. So what it actually does is allow us a share in a market that we had nothing to do with before. So again, it gives you an increase. And what we're seeing is people, I've got one client at the moment that wants 9 patrols per night. That's going to earn more than the monitoring, the alarm responses, and all those type of things all put together just by getting that done. So I just wanted to point that out, that there's an opportunity in what we're doing here to gain parts of a market that we have no right in the past. Thanks, Tom. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Look, I couldn't agree more. We know that the monitoring business is tough, and that margins are tough. So really what we're trying to do is provide an opportunity to create increased value out to your customer set, and then provide that value out to them so that you can charge them, and you get a happy customer who gets better value out of their monitoring. So look, none of this would be possible unless you could trust the network that this goes across. The video mentioned it as well, but by utilizing the Permaconn network, there's no need to use a customer network. We know that is often and it becomes tricky with using customer network, with using punching holes in firewalls, downtime, etc. So the ability to use the Permaconn network means that you don't have any of that hassle, but you can also trust it. So we're ISO 27001 certified as a network, which is, just means that you've got complete trust in the cybersecurity or in and around the network. Multiple camera connections. So all cameras on site can be connected. There is no limit. There is obviously, and Paul will get to it, the way that monitoring works is that there'll be a charge, by kind of camera, but what we're seeing is that, we have sites with up to 100 cameras connected via Video IQ, but not all of them are triggering alarm events. But what we are seeing is, if I look at the Permaconn office, for those of you that know it, we've got a front door, a back door, and a roller door at the warehouse. We're using the cameras, both the internal camera and the external camera for each of those. That gives us, 6 monitored cameras. And then the internal cameras, we're actually not getting monitored by Video IQ because the internal cameras are not triggering an alarm event as such. But that gives more than enough information when an alarm event is triggered. Look, it's very simple to install. The Video IQ is powered by the market-leading PM54. Hopefully, you all know what the PM54 is. Hopefully, you're all using it. This is absolutely available on existing PM54s. There is no upgrade required if you are using a PM54. But it does require the PM54 because it does require the data transfer. So the technology is easily integrated with all of the existing alarm and CCTV systems, and we'll run through a list of what that looks like. And as always with Permaconn, because we've got the dual SIM network and the ISO certified network, you can rely on us. We've got the 99.99% uptime. It's very, very, very rare that we suffer any downtime. So who are our integrations? Anyone with OnViv protocol for a camera piece. Obviously, as you would all be aware, we can't access pre-event footage through a camera unless it's got an SD card in it, so that we can actually rewind or access that through the camera. But we can access cameras without NVRs. Most of you, I'm sure, are tracking through NVRs. There's a list of NVRs and VMSs that we're working through, or that we currently integrate with at the moment, and we do have more in the development pipeline. So UniView, HIC or HIC, however you pronounce it, WiseNet, Dahua, Axis, Avigilon, Vicata, NX, and Hanwha. And if you need any more detail in and around any of that, please just touch base with us, and we're happy to kind of work through what that looks like. So how does the solution work and how simple is it? I'll run you through this schematic, and then I'll throw over to Mr. Lee to run you through what it looks like in Atlas. But this is the basic setup. It's pretty simple. You connect your NVR, your NVR through to the PM54, and whatever triggers the alarm event will also trigger the clip. You'll set up the cameras, and Andrew will show you that in a second. This is all sent through the Permaconn cloud and is sent directly through to the monitoring center, and optionally through to the customer. I can see a couple of people trying to raise their hands. Please just, I don't think you have the ability to turn your microphones off based on the setup for this, but please just feel free to use the Q&A tab, and we'll make sure that we cover everything in the Q&A. But that schematic should show you exactly just how things are set up from a network perspective. And I'll now throw over to Andrew Lee, who will share his screen and run you through what the Atlas setup looks like.
Excellent. Thanks, Tom, and welcome everybody. A few familiar faces there, which is great to see. What I want to just touch on quickly on my session here is basically 5 categories, right? I want to look at what do we need on site? Why are we using the 54? I'll just fly through those couple of first sections, and then we'll jump into Atlas and look at how we can configure Video IQ. I'll do a quick demo for the 4th part, and the last part is I'll show you the what it looks like on Pocket Secure in that situation. So just bear with me a second. Actually, I won't share just yet. So look, as you've just seen through Tom's presentation, what do we need on site? It's quite simple. There's an alarm panel, obviously. There's an NVR, there's a CCTV system with the NVR, and of course there's the PM54. Now, anyone that doesn't know about the PM54, it's basically a 3-in-1 device. It supports alarm monitoring, and it also has a built-in router with a Wi-Fi hotspot. So nice, easy, 3 pieces of gear on site. And all you need behind those 3 pieces of equipment is obviously a monitoring service and a data pack. Ideally, if you can connect to the client's network, that's positive, because then we can consider looking at reducing the data pack requirements on the service by using the client's network as primary. And as Tom touched on, with that solution, there's no requirement to port forward. And it's a really easy discussion to have the IT department, considering we've got the ISO certification, and there's no need to do any, punching any holes through the network at all. So just quickly on the data pack requirements, what we're seeing in the marketplace, if you're using the client's network for the Video IQ to extract the footage, we recommend something around a 500 megabyte data pack as a redundant connectivity solution. So in the case there's a network outage, whether that's a hardware switch failure or as an NBN outage, at least the Video IQ service will still perform as it's been designed to do. So in a redundant situation, we're probably looking around a 500 megabyte data pack. But if you're using the the 4G is primary, we'd probably look at something around a 1 gigabyte pack. So obviously that could change depending on the amount of cameras that are coming into the environment. And to give you an idea of what sort of rule of thumb we're looking at with the data consumption, is that a 30-second video clip on high definition, that's 1080p resolution, you're looking at around the 20 megabyte mark. So it's very small in data consumption. But yeah, that's what we're seeing across the industry. With the 54 Connect the Clients network, 500 meg pack for redundant service, and there's a primary around 1 gig. So on to point number 2, I want to just touch on why should we be looking at the PM54. So what we're seeing, the adoption of this product is increasing, obviously, in Video IQ, but it allows you to talk to your customers about identifying new revenue streams. It can, through the router component, you can connect other critical IoT services. Now, that could be point of sale systems. It could be the loss prevention RFID systems that want to connect to the cloud. And it also supports remote management, the cloud and web-based alarm panels, all in the one device. And again, just to reiterate, it's an off-band solution that requires no IT approval to support remote 4G connectivity. Okay, but best of all, there's one all-in-one communicator, the 54. There's nothing else required on site to deliver a smarter monitoring solution to your customers. So it's got a great lot of value and opportunity behind using the 54. It's $185 trade price point compared to what you're paying for the 45 at trade price, which is $129. So it's about $60 difference to bundle in with the overall charge of your alarm system installation and your camera installation for greenfield sites. So it's a small additional cost that allows you to talk to your customers about providing a smarter security solution or identifying other IoT critical connectivity applications. And I'm seeing a number of installers who have a good client base, whether that's retails, commercial, even high-end residential. We're seeing an increasing adoption number of installers who are using the PM54 across all installs to support those conversations around increasing their revenue through modern solutions and smarter monitoring solutions like Video IQ. So that's just quickly covered off site requirements of why we recommend the 54 over the PM45 in today's environment. What I want to do now is just walk you through the Video IQ configuration. Just going to bring up Atlas. Tom, can you just shout out and make sure Atlas comes up?
Yep.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys.
It's on its way.
So it's on its way.
There it is. Working out.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys. So now to touch on the Video IQ configuration. We stand behind the fact of a simple install is under 10 minutes. So I've got about 5 minutes to show you this, so I'm under the pump. So starting with the Fleet tab, here's a device that I've set up. It's activated by IMS. The installer yourselves now just has to look at your Fleet tab, identify the device, ping the unit. So there's our device online. We then click over the IP tab. And what we can see here down the bottom here is the active clients. So this is the NVR that I have on my desk here that's connected to one of the LAN ports. So we'll just click on that. We then display the IP address of the NVR. So I'm just going to copy that and close that. Now we move back onto the Fleet tab, click on the information icon. We drop down to video configuration. Now I've got a couple of configurations here already set up, but let's walk through setting up the same device with the new camera. So I'll just go back for anyone that may have just jump on. So it's an NVR. As you can see, there's a list of our compatible NVRs. So what I've got in front of me today is the UniView. So I click on that. Next. While I'm here, I'm just going to drop that IP address that I pulled up when I pinged the unit. Okay, we give that a camera name. I put the wrong detail in the wrong area. Okay, now, so with the IP address, I've given the name, I've selected the NVR. Now I want to punch in the ID, the username, which is embedded in the NVR, and the password. Now the camera number, in this instance, I've got a 4-channel UniView, and I've only got the one camera, so it's on channel number 1. I'm going to click over to video. We have the option to have up 10 seconds, up to 45 seconds. So at 10 seconds, if you can see this test configuration button, I'm going to click on that now. So what this is doing is interrogating the NVR to make sure we've got the right username, the right password, and obviously the IP address. We are now interrogating that. We're going to test that camera channel number 1. And then it's pretty soon you're going to see a pop-up that will browse embedded in Atlas, and that will play that video footage that, as you can see, I don't install cameras, so just excuse me on my angle. So there's the image in the camera. So we know that these parameters are good to go. So I can save that immediately. So that's done. So if I had 4 cameras, I would go through that process 4 times to enroll those cameras. I can select an image from it, from the same, I can enroll the same camera twice, which I've done here. It's a bit of a funky way to do it, but in this instance, what you do is maybe an image check on this one. So we've enrolled the camera. I'm just going to delete that. Come back later. So now we're going to set up the video verification rules. So what that looks like is that we select the camera, we add it. Now we have the option to do on event or on input. So on event is any contact ID event. So you can see we created 3 buckets: alarms, system, which might be an AC fail, low battery, or a user, like an opening and closing. Or we can select an input. Now, as you all know, the Permaconn devices have 3 inputs. We actually have an expander board now, so that gives you up to 11 inputs if we want to run the system that way. So we're going to go on event, click on alarms. So what sensor do I want to drive? What sensor do I want to drive this rule on? You know, when alarm zone number 1 goes into alarm, or a combination. So they're fairly limitless, as you can see. So you can just build it out those zones. And if you've got particular zones in other areas, you can select which partition they may be. But in this instance, I'm just going to leave it as any, because it's just a single area panel. Now, video offset. When we interrogate the NVR, the first thing we check is the time setting, because as we know, some NVRs drift and it can be a bit painful. But what we do is, because we know what time the alarm was generated on the second, the minute we interrogate the NVR, we check the time, and then we compensate to make sure, if we have to, we compensate that drift to ensure that we get a decent clip of 30 seconds. And then that also contains some pre-alarm as well. So for whatever reason, some panels can have a bit of a funky delay on the dialer. And if you're experiencing a not so good footage coming out of the device, out of the NVR, because of the delay on the panel, you can add some additional offsets here as well. Now we've got a capture limit. This might be more commonly known as swinger shutdown. And what this tells you is that if this rule is activated 6 times, it will back off for 10 minutes. So it just saves 4G data usage, and also saves any nuisance alarms going to the operator if there's a faulty sensor or something's occurred on site. Now this capture limit, the window of time is 5 minutes. So if I have 6 activations over a 5-minute period, I'd back off for 10 minutes. We can give it a rule name, and then drop down here, we can then add email addresses. Okay, so what happens here is the URL of the event will be sent to myself, my inbox. You can add multiple. I'm just guessing an email here. Right, so as Tom mentioned before, we can push this data to, sorry, just bear with me, just jump that off. Okay, you saw the emails just added in. I just clicked a button without realizing, so that those URLs can be sent to the customer. Okay, so virtual patrol. Again, select your camera, add. Now, it's the similar tech stack, but it's not using traditional reliable sensors to create the event. What you saw before, we're tying a zone, so they could be using a reed switch, it could be using a glass break sensor, a PIR, whatever that could be. This case, we're just driving those video IQ commands through a time and date sequence. Sorry, day of the week sequence. So I can put 1 a.m. on Sunday, and then say 3 a.m. Okay, and then what we generally see here is that on Monday, we'll set up a different video virtual patrol alert for the Monday and use different times, just so we can randomize those periods where we do check those external cameras. Select your time zone. You put a zone in here, it's optional. If you want to report into Patriot a particular zone number, and again, we can drop in our emails at there as you see fit. Okay, so that, without my chatter, you saw that was very, very quick to enroll the NVR, enroll the camera, and then create a rule. What I will do now is I'll just close this. I will ping the device. And I've got an output tied to a 24-hour zone, which is quite interesting because we've seen a lot of these situations where people are using video IQ in retail environments for frontline workers, and they're driving duress buttons into inputs to create a video IQ, video verification alert. So I'm just going to pulse output number 2, create an alarm now. Let's create a 24-hour zone. So just bear with me while we just play some elevator music. So the panel has seized the line now. We'll see the alert come through. Now I've just pulsed the input, so pretty quickly after this event, we're going to get the restore. Right now we're interrogating the NVR. As you can see, that time event is 10:36 and 33 seconds. We check the NVR time, make sure she hasn't drifted, compensate if we have to. We're going to pull that footage back. We're doing this over 4G right now. And there's the video alert. Now I've got these little icons enabled in my test environment. So just rest assured for public, we don't show these for the general use outside of my demos or our demos. And there's the clip at 10 seconds, which a truck was driving past, which it often does, but unfortunately it's not. Okay. So what I'll jump onto now is just quickly on Pocket Secure 2 demo. I'll just stop sharing Atlas, and I'll just jump into my phone. It'll take me a couple more seconds. Okay, let me know if you can all see the phone. Okay, yep. This is Pocket Secure. Pocket Secure 2, again, I'm just going to drive an output. I'm going to hold video IQ because I can control the outputs from the app. As you can see, the app can also control garage doors, other devices, and also has a built-in panic function. So I've generated the alarm through that 24-hour input. Panel has seized the line, dialing the event now. We'll shortly see that come through. So there's a burglary, followed by a restore. And shortly now we'll see the video IQ event. And that has just come through now. So we click on view, and then that will now show that 10-second clip to the customer, so that when IMS contact the end client or the police, they can verify a burglary is in progress and the appropriate incident response will occur. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tom. I'll hand over to Paul.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. We'll hand over to Paul now just to run you through what the IMS video IQ monitoring offer looks like.
Thanks, guys. Before we get started on this, I just wanted to talk to products are fantastic as long as they have that support. And IMS and Permaconn have a very deep relationship. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I think we're the biggest Permaconn user and probably Patriot user in Australia. So, I have unfortunately rung Andrew at all times of night when I've had dramas, and they're always there. So this is one of the important parts about these products. The products are one thing, but the service is another. And one of the things that we find is that they're always there waiting for us. So it's really important that, you know, we can keep everything moving. Not that we have too many problems, but when there is a problem, we want to be able to contact someone. So it's really important to us to provide that service in a bulletproof configuration. So I thank the guys for their help with that. So what we're actually seeing here in our industry, guys, is really a paradigm shift. It really, really is changing not only what we're doing, how we're doing it. So traditionally with the signal monitoring, we'll come through, we'll ring the after hours. Hopefully we can get someone, we go through 5 of them or 10 of them twice. And then from there we guess, you know, do we send a patrol? Do we send a police? What do we do? What we find with video now is that the video comes through and there's the guy with a little cat mask and a dollar bag wandering around. We go straight to police. We haven't even called the after hours. We've got an opportunity to go get the police on their way, and they will attend because we're verified, and then we start to run through our after hours list just to let them know what's going on. So there's some great opportunity in changing the whole way we are doing things. Realistically, you know, we have been a bit sterile in our work for the last 30 odd years with signal. And we just process that signal as it comes through and then follow instruction. Now we have the opportunity to be the first responder. We have, pardon me, we have that opportunity to be on site to see what's happening, to verify. So it's going to change a lot. It's a smart response as well. Basically, you know, we can get the police on site in 10, 15 minutes, you know, and if they're closer, then they're closer. But just some numbers on that. So we've had roughly 40 arrests, and that's arrests, not seeing someone, just arrests in 40 odd days, in 60 days, I beg your pardon. So the response is much, much different. And we've got some very funny home videos that we have now, watching people run around and do all sorts of things. We've seen one with a taser the other day with the police. It was quite interesting. Whereas with the signal monitoring, we just don't see that. We're not part of that. And we've got no opportunity to even know that that's happened. So we have some great opportunity. The verifications come through instantly. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about our side. So traditionally with a signal, it comes through, we click on it, go through the instruction, we follow that instruction. What we're getting now with the video is we're getting opportunity to vary that decision. So, you know, we've qualified the event, we can do it, or we can write it off. If it's a cat or if it's something, then we can actually put a note in the system, everyone moves on and we move on. You know, time's of the essence in what we do. We are a real production line in events, and it's very important that we minimize events that I'll go back to that false alarm. But basically what we do now is we can actually pick the eyes out of it with this. And as this grows, it will change. The other opportunity we see in this is that return on investment. It's very, very low cost. As Andrew's shown us, it's very simple to set up. We have had other means of getting video, complex, going through IP, getting access to the IT people. And I'm sure all you guys know, you know, we used to deal with, you know, operations managers or property managers. Now we're dealing with IT managers. So it's quite a change. So we get those instant verifications through, we can make a decision and we move on that as quickly as possible. We also get a priority response from the police, which we really, really haven't had. I'm not sure if anyone knows, it costs us money in New South Wales to ring the police. It costs $6.80 every time I ring them. So if I'm ringing them for a false alarm 10 times a night, then that's a waste of everyone's money, which puts profits behind, and it puts pressure on us to raise our prices because of the cost. With this, we can narrow those down to very, very minimal calls to the police, only when they're needed. So that's a great thing. Next one, Tom. Again, you know, the opportunity that we see at our end is you guys are setting up very, very quickly. The ones that we've already got online, there's no fuss. What we've found in the past is it's back and forth with NVR information and paths and DDNS addresses and all those sort of things associated to it. This product will basically eliminate that. It's also a fantastic backup. And Andrew again spoke to, hey, you can send it on IP if you've got that access, and all of a sudden you've got redundancy as well. One of the things that we do see, of course, is crooks will go out and turn the power off or shut things down or whatever. Doesn't matter, we keep going now. The revenue. So as an example, and don't quote me on dollars because you're all charged differently, but traditionally here, we're charging $40 a month to monitor alarm. All of a sudden you can add $20 a month for your video monitoring on top of that 40. So all of a sudden it's 60. And then if you get into patrols, it's limitless, really. It depends on what they are. But we're seeing the average client go from $30 or $40 retail to $100, and we're seeing people pay $120 even in private homes with some product. So people are prepared to pay for it if they believe it's going to benefit them. What we see now, I believe that in the last 20 years, most security companies, and I'm not saying anyone here, but in general, we've been selling boxes. We really have. We've had our Bosch or our NX tucked under our arm. We go out and we do it. What we're actually being able to do now is actually give some security. And what we see in our system is that if someone kicks a door open, the alarm goes off, they continue. They continue to go through. They continue on with the burg or whatever they're going to do. What we're seeing in these sort of products is setting up that perimeter. We've got the early warning here. We can actually, intervene before that happens, notify the crook in some cases that they've been seen. And what we see in that is that they turn around and they walk away. They haven't done anything wrong at this stage, so it's easier for them to walk away. So we're seeing a great turnaround in that as well. The monthly revenue, you can really concentrate on adding these things. And the advantage here is that all those alarms that you've put in, all those CCTVs that you put in that you're getting no recurring revenue from, all of a sudden it becomes a vessel for you to get recurring revenue. So again, if we think about all those CCTVs that we've installed, hundreds, thousands, whatever it is, if we can go in and make them smarter, then it's a great thing for all of us. Sorry, Tom. So we've been, actually Permaconn have been kind enough to help us with a promotion for you guys that are with IMS. And what we want to be able to do is do a 3-month promotion. So how it would work is you would order the PM54 from us, and you guys will probably all have different contacts. And the data team will be able to give you or send you out a device. You need to quote that promo code so that we know. So basically from there, you would get free data, 5 GB for 3 months, and free video monitoring. We don't charge you for that video monitoring content for 3 months as well. So we're backing that up. There will be a charge for the monitoring of the alarm, of course. We have to cover that cost. Once you've done that and you've got it on site and you're installing it, you can confirm, and you can obviously order these if you want to order more. We're happy to get them out to you so you're ready to go, and then you can just promote the code. Give us the promotion code and off we go. Then basically we need a commission form. So we need to understand, is it an upgrade? Is it new? What is it? So we've got a commission form for that, which we'll roll out to you guys. And then basically we just go live with IMS Video IQ, and it works quickly. We are getting them online in 5 or 10 minutes, whereas before, it can be quite cumbersome for us at our end to make sure that we're all communicating back and forward. And again, that's good for you guys. You're spending less time on site. You're getting more opportunity. And as I said, if you piggyback this off the back of other systems you've already put out there, it just makes sense. So there's an upgrade for that. You traditionally, I think that the base product's been that 45, going to a 54 every time moving forward, whether you're using it at that time or not, is probably a preference, because you can always come back to it and add that or grow off that. It's already in play, and the cost is minimal, realistically. Okay, look, what I see from our end is the opportunity to make a difference. Again, with our response from the police that we're seeing, I've never seen it in all my time, to be honest. And to be able to verify, to be able to send a clip to them, to be able to help them not walk into something that's troubling for them, this is the best way forward. And this will grow and it will evolve. This is the release of the product, but it's a living thing. So it will evolve, it will get better, it will do other things, but we need that base unit in so that we can work from there.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Paul, and appreciate it. Hey, appreciate everyone sticking with us, because I know we're kind of running slightly over the time, but I just reiterate kind of Paul's comments there, that it will continue to get better. We've got a really significant development roadmap for this solution, and you'll continue to see more and more stuff through us throughout the first half of 2026 as we develop this. I said at the start of the call that we've got a bunch of marketing assets to help you guys communicate this out to your customers. We've got an EDM template that we can provide for you and help you EDM out to all of your customers if you so choose. There is a bunch of videos and video collateral available for both residential, small-end commercial and high-end commercial, so that you can show your customers. And there's also a Video IQ brochure. We can co-brand that for you so that you've got your logo and your contact details on that, and you can use that in the market as well. So just please reach out to Permaconn, myself, Andrew, your partnership manager, or through the IMS team. If you would like any of that information, we'd happily help you run a program and a promotion on the back of that. We'll now just jump into Q&A. There's usually a couple of questions, and one of those is, can we set this up with the existing setups? Absolutely. If you've got a PM54 already on site and a customer's got an NVR, if you've been able to connect that the NVR through to the 54 already, just via the LAN cable, most of it can be done remotely. If not, you might have to do a site visit. What we are seeing is a lot of our integrators and bureaus who are talking to their customers about this are actually using this as an opportunity to install more cameras. So they're taking them from kind of signal monitoring through to video monitoring, and at the same time they're saying, hey, we might want to upgrade this front door camera and chuck a new camera here at the back door, inside and outside and whatnot. So you're getting some install revenue, some camera revenue out of it, as well as the ongoing recurring revenue, which is really important. One of the questions was, what's the availability of the clip? The clips are available via the link for 30 days. Permaconn keep those clips in cold storage in our cloud for up to 5 years, and that storage is all included in the VOIQ charges. So there's no additional charge for the cold storage, and what that means is, even if the incident occurred kind of more than 30 days ago, and you need to recall that information, that is there and always will be there. Can I send this presentation deck?
That's internal, don't worry. There's another one under the chat there, Tom, from Paul, I think. Are you projected to get closed camera system to allow access such as Mark and Cisco?
So is that March and Cisco compatibility with March and Cisco? Correct. CCTV gear? Correct. Tom, do you want to jump on this one?
No, I'll leave this one with you.
Yeah. Okay, so look, obviously, the integrations we've built today probably covers 80% of the opportunity presented to us on a day-to-day basis. But certainly, if there's a project out there, there's a client that says, yes, I love it, I want it, but they use other equipment. What we'll be looking to do is get some sort of commitment from all involved around, productizing this in a fashion. And once that's been agreed and just discussed and agreed, we've got a team of 35 engineers here in our office. We'll jump onto it. Obviously there's opportunity behind it, but there is also a second part of this where we are constantly maintaining who we're connecting with, those manufacturers we're connecting with today. We're also looking to add more other products over the course of time, as standard practice.
Yeah, to Paul's earlier point, we're continuing to develop the product. What that means is features, but also integrations. Some of that relies on the ability to integrate, so the camera operator and the NVR manufacturer opening up their API to us, but we're continuing to work on that. So, if you've got a specific customer or a site in mind, please let us know. We're happy to work with anyone on integration. There's another question here. Is the 11 input Permaconn expander mentioned earlier, is that just for the PM54? I'll throw to you on all things PM54s.
Yep, thanks, Tom. Good question. So we call the IO88 as a fancy model number. 8 inputs, 8 outputs. It's compatible with any Permaconn device. That's the PM24 version 2, PM45 series, and the PM54, of course.
Well, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time today. Really wish you all the best with this. If you'd like more information, if there's any help that you need, both the IMS team and the Permaconn team are here to help you support, getting a bunch of customers on board with this, especially with the lead up to Christmas. Reach out to us at any point in any time, whether you're in the discovery page with your customers or you need some help with the setup. Our support team is there and ready to help you with installing your first site. Again, look at your fleets where you've got 54s in play and you know what the NVR is. Those kind of customers can be activated really, really quickly, and the commercial offer is there to support upgrades and new installs, whether they be kind of existing PM45s and 24s, or you have fallen on the dark side and used another communicator. We'll forgive you and allow you to replace that with a Permaconn pretty quickly, so that you can get this kind of monitoring out of your customers. But thanks very much for your time today. I'll just throw over to Paul to close.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And look, from IMS, if you guys have projects that you are stuck with, reach out to us. We're happy to help, even if we can put something in short term. If it's something that you do need, we've got engineers as well, so we do some great work at IMS. And one of the things that I'm really, really proud of is our engineering. We haven't got a shelf product of Patriot. We've got probably one of the most evolved out there, and we really are here to help you guys. So if you do have a challenge, or you've built a flux capacity you want to get monitored and no one does it yet, reach out to us, and we're happy to help you guys wherever we can as well. And certainly, as I said earlier, products are one thing, support is another. And, these guys have been really, really helpful to us over time, and we want to be the same to you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Go well.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.